Since 2009, Southeastern Automotive Group has been buying for and selling to most of the franchise dealerships in the area. What if you were able to bypass the big dealerships with the big markups? Buy direct from the supplier. Save thousands of dollars on your next vehicle purchase. Have a trade-in? No problem. With used vehicles in such high demand, Southeastern Automotive Group has dealers ready to buy your trade. If Southeastern Automotive Group doesn't have the perfect vehicle for you, using their vehicle locator program, they will have it shipped in without any hassle or haggling you hate. With over hundreds of thousands of cars available at auctions across the nation, your next vehicle purchase is just a click away. ESP Specialist in Fabrication is located at 169 Little Phoebe Church Road in Folkestone, Georgia. President Mark Pickering and his employees utilize the latest technology with a skilled workforce to supply customers with the best custom fabrication possible. Serving clients at home and abroad makes ESP a premier employer in Charlton County. For all your specialty and fabrication needs, contact ESP at 912-496-2583 today. They're also on Facebook at ESP Specialist Fabrication. ESP is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation has been providing quality electric service at a competitive price to residential, commercial, and industrial customers in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida since 1939. For tips and advice on how to save electricity and stretch your energy dollars, call 1-800-262-5131 and speak to your marketing representative. We are a cooperative owned by those we serve.
Hey Indian fans, did you know you're eligible to join the United First Federal Credit Union? We are your hometown financial institution offering services such as online banking, mobile deposit, free checking, and much more. And if you're in the market to purchase a vehicle, our auto loan rates start as low as 2.99 for those who qualify. We are conveniently located at 3773 2nd Street South in Folkestone. Federally insured by NCUA and equal housing lender.
Tonight whooped them 6-0 tonight, Coach. Shut out Clinch.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Did Emma pitch tonight?
That's always a good thing when you shut out Clinch County.
Did Emma pitch tonight?
Emma pitched tonight. You didn't get to give her a hard time. I know you were looking forward to that.
Yeah, she's my little cousin, so I was hoping to get her to do some play-by-play.
She's probably going to message you later and let you know she pitched a shutout tonight.
Well, that's she's working hard, doing pretty good. I'm proud of them.
Against the Panthers. Well, Coach, a lot of folks, they know you from here, but we have a lot of viewers that come in from outside of Charlton that like to watch. Introduce yourself, new head coach. You've been here for 24 years. You're no stranger to Charlton County. I mean, you've been here forever.
Yeah, I'm Russ Murray. I'm an alumnus of Charlton County High. I graduated in 1989 when, actually, that was Coach McWater's first year here as an assistant. He was my offensive defensive line coach, and I went off to school at Valdosta and played there a little bit and ended up graduating there in 94. But it was in December, so it was 95 before I could start working, because that's when school starts in the fall.
Yeah.
And there were some jobs that I could have taken, and Coach Mack, he got in touch with me, and he said, I really want you to take over my junior high program. And I jumped at that opportunity, and, oh, man, I was glad I did because, I've been a part of the greatest times in, Charlton County football history. I got, the kids were able to get us 4 state championship rings, and we played for it a couple more times and, a bunch of region championships, and I really did enjoy that. And, like I said, this is my 25th year. And I'm going to tell you, it's been a lot different these last several months than it ever has been in those 24 years previously. A lot goes on this side. But I'm enjoying what's going on, and even though it's more work, we're moving forward. I hope, and I mean that's what I see happening, and that's our vision.
I know we're excited about it. Excited about a new era, You got new offense, new defensive look. The defense Friday, I know we're going to get to that a little bit later, but the defense Friday was swarming.
Yeah, they did well. You know, this time of the year when the defense is probably ahead of your offense, and you know, we are running a new offense at hybrid wing T, and you know, it takes some time. You know, we're young.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say inexperienced, kind of unproven, but you know, that's inexperienced too. But you know, that's something we had to do because of the personnel, you know, and we'll talk about that too. But we lost 9 guys on defense last year, but we lost 7 on offense.
Yeah.
And some of the guys we lost were pretty strong, and so we couldn't play the kind of defense we had played in the past. And we've changed that up a little bit on defense to be more quicker, to utilize that we have. I think we're a little bit quicker in some spots. And on offense, we don't have that quarterback right now that can stand back, you know, and go 5 wide and sling it where he needs to sling it.
Right.
And but we're progressing.
You're adapting to your personnel.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I learned from Coach McWhorter. You know, the only thing we never did, but we dabbled with it, was running the wing T. We've run the wishbone, the eye, you know, 5 spread. We run this thing called 8s where nobody was in the backfield, you know. And that's one thing I learned from him, and that's do what your players can. Don't stick to a system. A lot of coaches stick, and it worked out fine for a lot of coaches. But I think for the majority of the coaches, just sticking with one system
and make the kids fit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great idea at all. I think you need to be able to adapt to the kids.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done.
Well, you adapt to your talent, your size, your speed.
Exactly.
And so forth. Well, Coach, you've got a new year for you, new head coaching position. You've also shuffled the deck a little bit on the staff.
Well, yeah,
And,
you know, my goal when I got the job was, you know, I really enjoyed, and I've got great relationships with the guys that I've worked with. You know, I talked and I said, find out what they were going to do. You know, I wanted all of them to stay with me. But, you know, Coach Woods, he moved on to Atlanta for another job. And but most of the staff stayed.
Yeah.
We got my coordinators, well, my offense coordinator and assistant head coach is Zach Wickenberg. You know, he's been with us before. He took a little time off to be an air traffic controller of all things. And this tells you how dedicated he is to kids and to sport. He had that job, and he'll tell you, he just missed football. He's a football coach / coaching everything. I think he could coach marbles and be a great coach. He's complete package as far as that with his knowledge and stuff. And he's my offense coordinator. And his brother, Gabe, who was with us, he was also our defense coordinator last year. He stayed on, and you know, his son is a starting middle linebacker for us, and he's so smart. And he does a great job coaching the kids, putting them in position. He knows what the opponents are running. I hear him on the headset. He knows what they're running when they're running. Our problem is we can't get the information out there to the kids.
You got to get it to the kids.
Yeah, and then we have Coach Pender, David Pender. You know, he's a great to play for us. Played on state championship teams and went off to Purdue and played. And he's been back ever since there, and he coaches our DBs, and he's just all around guy. The kids love him, and you know, he's such a glue to our team.
Yeah, he's got a great relationship with the kids too.
And Coach Brooks, Thomas Brooks, stayed with us, and he's our wide receiver coach, and he's gotten better and better I forget how many years he's been with us. He's been with us several years now, and you know, he's knowledgeable what goes on. He's real technical about stuff, and he does a great job. He also coaches special teams and things like that. Coach Brian Lloyd, who played on the 1999 state championship, which later on we're going to have a I guess it's homecoming weekend. We're going to have a 20th year reunion for him.
Right.
And he actually played on that team. He came back home from serving in the Navy and lived up in Virginia. He came back home several years ago, and he's been coaching junior high, and he's been doing a great job. And I just couldn't wait. He was actually the first move I made. As soon as I got the job, I called him.
He was your first official hire, right?
Yeah. He, you know, I needed somebody to coach the offensive line because that's what I'd coached since 2004, and he was my guy. You know, and because he's got that old Charlton County in him, you know, that expect to win attitude, and he's the first call I made, and he's doing a great job. And we've got a new addition to the staff. And he's not a new timer, new to the game neither. This is his 24th year coaching, and that's Bobby Jones, and I think he lives in Berrien County, but he's coached at Cook County High School for 23 years, he coached on those teams that came in and ended our winning streak in the region and won the region that one year, maybe 2001. He was offensive line coach then, and he's so knowledgeable of the game, and he understands stuff that I don't understand, like the wing tee. I mean, they ran it over there at Cook for years. He was the head coach at Cook for the last 5 years, and anyway, he came over, and boy, he's such an asset on the football field. But what we hired him for is to be the strength and conditioning coach for the school. He's not only the athletic. He's not only. I mean, football may be the primary, but I know I teach a class with him the last block of the day, and we kind of call it our varsity block. We got varsity baseball players, varsity basketball players, in there, and we work them, and they're all doing a phenomenal job in there. But that was one of the during my interview process, they want to know what's my plan for the weight room, and I said, I think what we need to do is do like a lot of these schools are doing, is we need to find us a weight room guy. That's going to be his job.
Dedicated to that.
Yeah, that's going to be his job. And so far I'm pleased, with what we got with him, and I'm excited about our kids. Maybe they're going to get stronger, and in turn they're going to get faster, and they're going to become better football players. And then not only just me being an alumnus of the school, I want to see us do well in all the sports. Yeah. And if our kids are stronger, baseball and basketball. We got some basketball players too in there. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Coach Bailey. I forgot to mention them, but they've done a great job. And I just think our whole athletic program is going to get so much better buying into the strength program.
And it starts in the weight room.
Yes,
every sport. I mean, even wrestling. Wrestling is related to the weight room.
Yeah, it does. And so he's. And then I have a lot of. I've got retired coaches like Marty Strickland. He keeps our stats and stuff, and Bill Shepard. They help us out on the sidelines, and they do a great job.
So you got a good staff, and brought in a new guy.
Yeah, it's a little old new. It's kind of like I had to write something for the program. The excerpt about the season and the whole thing. You're going to see a lot of. I mean, I would be crazy to change the stuff that Coach McWhorter established here, because it worked, for, he was here 28 years.
Yeah.
Okay, it worked. And I'd be crazy to change everything. I tweak stuff. People Friday night, and of course they probably have seen, last weekend, they're going to see some old stuff that they're going to recognize, just different habits that we have, both on the sideline, on the field, and if you come out to practice, you're going to see some of the old stuff. But you're also going to see some new stuff.
You're doing a transition.
Yeah, and it's, I think everybody has to have their own philosophy. Of course, I coached with Coach McWhorter for a long time, so there's a lot of stuff that...
There's a lot of influence there. I mean, you've been under somebody for 20-something years.
And, there's stuff that I've tweaked and just to fit the kids, because, the kids aren't like they were 25 years ago when I was coaching. They're a lot different. It's amazing the changes. I think about the stuff when I was 25, when I was coaching. So much different than now when I'm 48. It's different. It's different.
It is. It's a different mentality than back. Back then.
And I think it has a lot to do with the digital world, stuff like we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just start. You didn't do this when Coach McWhorter wouldn't have been doing this. We had the radio, and we thought we were. High tech, and now
we're online, and
now you can take this thing everywhere, and you've gone everywhere, and people can see the game. I mean, and you can see the games anywhere as long as you got, service with your cell phone. You can. I've watched different things like baseball games usually. When we played for the state championship in baseball, I was coaching golf, and the final game in the 2 years we won it, I was on a bus coming back from the state golf tournament, I was in the middle of nowhere. And I was watching, and I'd get upset if my service went out. I'd be yelling at Tommy Harris to stop. You got to see the end of this game.
Pull over.
Yeah, but like I said, you're going to see some stuff that when you come to the game, you're going to see some stuff that you're familiar with, and you're going to see some new stuff. And you go, wow. And I hope that our spin on it, people will understand and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think everybody understands. There's going to be a year or two of transition, getting used to a new system, and the kids are young. You got a young team.
And we kind of go by a day-to-day basis. I normally are wearing one of these shirts, a win today shirt. That's kind of like our thing, because we're trying to win today.
Yeah.
You know, and
I've enjoyed that.
And I told the kids, you know, and they'll tell you. Some of them put it in the program. That's the thing what they learn. But it's like win the day. You win the day. You win the weeks. You win the weeks. You win the months. You win the months. You win the years.
Right.
And if you win the years, you win life. And you know, all you got to do is just tighten your bootstraps up and try to win the day because it's tough. Because I told them when they get older, you know, that's what they're going to do. You're going to get up, you know, and you've been hit by them. And I'm sure everybody out there, you know, I got to come up with $200 a day. Where am I going to get it?
Right.
Well, you got to find a way to do it. You got to make some moves,
Gotta go out there
or
and
go
do
to
it.
talk to somebody. But you got to come up with it in the day, because if you don't, that 200 may turn into 400. You know, you got to find a way to win the day. I'm not talking about not doing everything in your power legally to get it done.
And it translates to everything.
That's right. That's right. And they're buying into that. And you know, we're just like I said, so unproven, so young, and it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But we're trying every day to do that. You know,
We're excited to
trying
watch.
to be positive about it.
We're excited to watch it. Can't wait to see it grow
Yeah.
and develop. Well, we got before we get into Frederica, Pierce last week. I know you don't like to go over it too much.
No, there's
But a lot of. I thought the defense played great, and I thought the offense hit on some good spots that you could build on.
The defense did play great for a quarter and 3/4 of a quarter, almost the whole half, and we had some coverage bust, and it's transferred over to the first play. Well, the first play, our corner just got beat, just one-on-one. Their guy just outran our guy. Number one, I think Pierce is a good team, and they were a little bit bigger than us. And after we looked at the film, we saw a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
We got to worry about getting our head placement where it needs to be, and maintaining our blocks. And that's kind of since that day, well, since Monday, since they've watched the film. Our whole thing this week is, man, we got to work for everything. No, I don't believe anything is going to come easy for this team. Every yard we got to fight for. Every stop we got to fight for. You know, because like I said, we're unproven, we're young. We started 3 sophomores on the offensive line. We got, Khalil Burrows, who's a junior, and Taekwon Perron, he's a junior, but he's never played before.
Right. So
And then, of course, we got our mainstay, Grayson Carter, who's a senior who made all-region last year. He's playing at one of the tackles. But we got 3 sophomores in there that hadn't had Friday night experience, and we're trying to. Hey guys, you just got to finish the block, and that's the toughest thing to teach the kids, I think, today. Besides tackling, tackling's tough to teach kids nowadays because they don't want to buy into it. Because they see everybody on TV using their
see young
shoulders.
boys on TV just
blocking,
diving into people.
I believe after coaching offensive line as long as that's hard to teach kids. Not the technique or whatever. It's just finishing. You go to the whistle, and that's what we strive. What we strive for all week this week. We even did something. We did a blocking circuit. And you always heard of tackling circuits where you angle tackle here, open field here, short yardage here.
Right.
But we did a blocking circuit, and we've done that for the last 2 days, and I think it's starting to pay off a little bit. We got to get one, though, I think, is just you run until you hear that whistle. And the sled's the sled, but, I think they'd be better off doing the human body. And we're tweaking that, trying to figure that out. But I think we'll get there with it.
Talking about blocking, Tammy got a great shot of Khalil, 55. Khalil, right?
Yeah.
He taking out 2 players and eliminating a third on one play.
Well, Khalil ought to be able to do that. Khalil's right at 6'3". He's 345 pounds, right, or 349. He's nice and slim.
He's taking out 2 people by himself anyway.
Yeah, and he can move exceptionally well for a guy that big, and he does a good job. And to get back to that, we had to the Pierce game. Like I said, there's things that I think we can straighten out. And like I said, this team's got to work. I mean, we're having to take baby steps. We're not ready to get in the gates and run a 100-meter sprint, world class yet. We're having to take baby steps, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work on the coach's part, but the players are the ultimate. They're buying in, they're taking the steps, and then maybe we'll be able to run before the end of the season.
Sounds good. Overall, we talked about offense and talked about defense. We touched on both. How about Tony Cobb, the story he had over the summer, and then special teams Friday. Man, what a night he had punting.
Yeah, he punted the ball well. And of course, we didn't have a rush, but I said, dang, man, you've never punted the ball that far. Even in practice, I haven't seen him punt them that far. But he did well. And hopefully we won't have to use that unit as much as we had to Friday. But he did well with that.
Yeah.
And we'll have him and Saquon Clark returning. And Tony's also going to do our kickoffs, which he did on Friday. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing we lost last year. We lost Brantley Sloan, who was our kicker. And, not only did we lose 9 on defense, 7 on offense, but we lost our punter and kicker. Now, we do have our deep snapper back, Braden Wittenberg. Yeah. I'm sorry. He does a great job snapping. I think he's one of the best when he's on. And anyway, we got him back. So he's really the only special teams player we had coming back. And I think we're going to use a new holder this year too, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. Hold and kick some extra points. Craig Carlisle kicked some extra points. We didn't get to see that though. But anyway, so I got all new special teams guys too. But Tony has done a good job. He's had he had the incident happen to him earlier this summer and fully recovered from that. He got cleared in the end of June for that and beginning of July and he's had some setbacks trying to get back into shape. So he didn't get to work in condition as much this summer as he could have. He was tired Friday, but he's progressing pretty good. And I mean, Tony's the guy that can take it sometimes the distance. Last year we had that with Raekwon that he could get the ball in the one and go 99 yards with it.
Yeah.
We're kind of missing that a little bit, but I know Tony can take it and go pretty good ways.
Sure. So we should be all right on special teams as we move forward then.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a work in progress, and we're working and working every day.
I love the attitude.
Well,
I love the attitude. One step at a time.
That's what you have to do when you have a bunch of young kids like that, like we got now.
All right, Coach. Let's take a look ahead at Frederica. The only thing I've heard about them this year is they had a big win the other night against Bethesda.
Yeah, I think that's how you said it.
I think that's how you say it.
It's out of Savannah, Bethesda. Yeah, they're I assume they're another Geesey school. They scrimmaged them last year before they played us. And I don't know what the score was because I never really look at that part on the film. When we watch on our huddle, we can kind of cut that out.
Yeah.
But they're a program. They're not just a team. They won the state championship last year.
Yeah.
And I remember the best high school game I've ever watched in my life. My cousins were playing over there for Frederica, and I think it was 2011 when we won the state championship. But they were down by about 30. Right, almost 30 when the third quarter was getting ready to end.
Really?
And they came back and won the state championship. Best high school game. And I've been able to be a part of some great ones. Now I don't say I love the ones that are dear to me.
That was
the best one to watch. And I don't care what any level. That was the best
one. Doesn't matter the level. It was GI, GH,
it was
whatever.
awesome. And I was getting to stand on the sideline because my cousins were doing the chains. And he's, you want to stay with? Yeah, because that's how I like to watch games anyway. Of course, they didn't have a lot of big stands. I'd had to stand up, but I got to stand right there and watch it on. It was fantastic.
That is awesome.
But get back to them. Yeah, well, last year they lost to us, and boy, it was close when we got it there at the end. Randy Nelson picked who we've got back. He's one of return. He's actually one of the starters we have coming. One or two we have coming back on defense, and Saquon Clark. But he got a pick right there at the end. He took it in to score. Well, they lost to us. Then the next week they lost to Valwood like 7-6, in overtime or something like that. And then later on in the season they lost one to John Millage. Well, they got to play Valwood in the second or third round. I don't know, in the playoffs, and they beat them something fierce. And then they played John Millage for the state championship, and they beat them something else. And so I'm kind of glad we didn't have to play them again. But they had two guys. I think they ended up with three guys going to Auburn, but two guys signed with Auburn. I think another guy walked on. And Coach Derek was telling me the other day that two of those guys are going to get to play some on Saturdays. So, and they still they're real athletic. They're fast and they play hard.
Yeah.
And
they gave us a good game last year.
Yes, everything we wanted. And I knew going into that game, I told Coach Mack, I said, man, this thing worries me more than anybody on our schedule. I know Auburn's going to be like they are and Clinch are going to be like they are. I said, but this team right here, they could get us early in the season like this. And it's going to be the same thing Friday. We watched them on film. They fly to the ball, and he told me how fast and big we were. I said, yeah, Coach, but I think you're faster. You're watching them on film. They're shooting gaps and they're doing whatever. They throw the ball well. They still get back and do what they did last year. They throw a lot. The main runs they do are those zones like we used to run. Quarterback would be deep, in the shotgun, and he'd hand it off and he'd run and just find a hole, not have a designated hole. And they do that well, and they're pretty sound defense. And I'm sure they have a kicker, because it's traditionally a
private school. They probably have a
well,
kicker.
it's traditionally a soccer school. They played that forever, and I think one of the girls on the U.S. national women's team, she's from over there. And I know in their gym last year they got a big old poster on. She'd won the high school Heisman, and so they have. I'm sure they got a kicker.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have a kicker.
They probably
to kick,
imported one if they didn't have one.
Well, I mean, they'll get. They've got that. So they're sound. And it should be a good ball game, and and a test for us. Like I said, everything's going to be a test for us this year. I mean, everything. We got to work for everything. Yeah. And I'm beginning to get. I hope that the kids are starting to believe that.
Yeah.
And I want to be confident, and I think they're confident, but I don't. Sometimes you can say, "Hey, you got to work for everything." And I don't want them to think, and they don't believe this, that they're not any good. But they just know they got to work. Mm-hmm. And I think we're kind of turning the table there from. Think, well, he's being real negative, but I'm not. We got to work, and they're starting to buy into that, and I'm excited about that because if you got a team that'll do that, and of course we want to win, but if the kids are doing everything they can do, that's all you can ask, and you win if you do that.
Yep.
And we're it's going to be a great.
The kids are winning, even if the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. If they do that,
I mean that's all.
Winning.
That's all you can ask, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to our band. Gosh, don't we have a good band? Don't we have a good band? We got a great band. And my daughter, she's a majorette this year, so I'm excited about that and about getting the kids running through, and breaking out some new uniforms, and they're excited about that, and hopefully everything will go well. Hopefully we play well in them, and. So we're excited about it, and I'm sure they're excited about it because they get a chance to get us get it wrong right, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, Friday night. Frederica's only hour 15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
So they're going to travel well. They're going to bring a crowd. We need to have our crowd in there as well Friday night.
Well, next year, we don't have to worry about the point system like we do this year. This game's not going to count. We're going to finish. We're going to have 9 games that count, and that just hurts us. Win, lose, or draw. And last year it hurt us because we had to turn around and play clinch in the second round. We went 8-4 last year, but 3 of those losses were to Irwin and Clinch, who played for the state championship. And and we lost to a great Applin team too. They're just bigger and stronger than us. But anyway, I would have liked to have been a different. And because we only got 9 games to count for our ratings, our power rankings, we ended up having to play Clinch the second round. I would like to have been able to see what we could do.
See them a little later.
Yeah, just to see what we could do. And we knew that Irwin and Clinch were better than us because they beat us, But anyway, you just have to do what
in
goes
2017, that was your only losses too, was Clinch and Irwin.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, and then
in the playoff.
But what I was saying about Frederica, I would, that might be a team that I'd like to keep on the schedule.
Yeah.
If coach is willing to do that, we'll talk about it, I'm sure. And I'd heard some rumors about them maybe moving to the JHSA, which they can do, but hadn't confirmed any of that yet. But it's like you said, it's not that far away. An hour and a half is nothing for us.
Yeah.
And
it's nice to get home before
and for
midnight
them too.
for a ball game.
And for them too, because they go they go to Valdosta, they go all the way to Milledgeville. They go all over the state too, because there's not many of those in their division in the JSA. And so they have to go over too. And I hope that we can continue, because especially since they dropped the points. If they'd have kept the points, and that was a team we were going to have to get off our schedule because it wasn't helping us any at all. It was actually hurting us like it's going to this year.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that. But
I understand too. You're talking about the schedule. Coach Cruz brought that up during the game Friday night. I don't know if you were able to watch our webcast. The region might be reducing.
Excuse me.
Which would mean, go ahead, but that would mean more out of region games too.
Oh yeah, he talked to me about that. We talked about the fact that the region will probably change a little bit. I don't know exactly how it's going to. I think he's up there in a meeting tomorrow. Well, it might have been today. I don't know. He left today, so about they're going to do reclassification pretty soon. They got to wait till the October numbers come out and stuff. But it looks like it's going. The Region 2A is the face of it's going to change a little bit, and there won't be as many teams. So we'll get a chance to schedule some teams that we haven't played in a long time. Maybe
Right.
we can get some.
Maybe go to Florida a little bit more.
Well, that's what, maybe it'd be good to get some Hilliard, West Nassau, maybe in Baker County, Yulee. There's a lot of schools just in Nassau County. I just named that one county, and there's a bunch in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Right now we can only get 3 out of our
Non-region,
region. Right.
yeah.
And I hope we keep the Brantley game because that's a great game for both us and them because it's a good crowd. I'm sure we'll talk to
It's
the
only
coach
30
about
minutes.
That. Oh yeah, it's great, and it's always the beginning of the year, and they're fired up, and we're fired up, and it's always a game. It didn't get like a playoff atmosphere sometimes, so it's interesting to see. We're playing some teams maybe we've never played before, or haven't played in a long time because we'll have, we could get as many as maybe 5
that's
out
what
of
Coach
region.
mentioned. Might get
out of
5
region
open
games.
spots.
Maybe as many as that, but it'll be interesting to see.
All right. Last thing, Coach, before we close out. Well, always on these coaches shows, I always try to mention the fundraisers and whatnot.
Yeah.
You got the quarterback club meeting tonight. What's going on there?
Well, we just kind of wrapped up some things. We mainly talked about how, we had our first pregame meal. Like I said, last year I didn't have to worry about that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into running a football program, and the ladies and Ricky Carter actually, they all had everything went smooth, and we talked about that, talked about what we're going to do the next week, so on and so forth. Our fundraisers, pretty much the big ones are done right now. We sold the scorecards, and we did pretty well with that, even though we had not as many kids. We didn't sell as many cards as we did last year, but 20 kids less than what we had last year.
Right.
And we didn't have our golf tournament. People's like, what happened to the golf tournament? We're going to have it, but what we decided to do is we're either going to have it right, later here in the fall, or we're going to have it early in the spring next year, so it won't be as hot because it's so hot out there.
Oh, man,
people show up.
It's been brutal this month.
And it's one of my gosh, yes, and it's one of the best fundraisers we have. It's been a consistent one.
Yeah.
But we're going to have it. We're still going to have it. We just moved it to a later date.
Moved it
And
to a
we've
fuller
been
date.
selling those scorecards for 20 years. Bill Gordon, who said I said, how long have we been doing this? He said 20 years. So it's a pretty good fundraiser for us. And if you didn't, I have some cards. If you didn't get one, just get in contact with me, and I can still sell you some.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time. I didn't realize that either.
I didn't either. So anytime you deal with somebody for 20 years, it's a good thing. And Bill's such a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's fun to talk to. He's from New York, the city, and he's fun to talk to.
All right, that sounds good. Coach, anything else going on that we need to know about football-wise? I mean, we're going to be B teams.
The JV starts up next week. We got a home game with Ware County. Jason Strickland, who used to coach with us, he's the head man at Brantley. At Ware County now.
Right.
And they had a scheduling conflict which worked out good. He's like, hey, can we play that first game? Absolutely, you can play it instead of us going on the road. So we'll play them here on the 29th, and that'll be next Thursday.
Next Thursday here.
It'll be here, yes, sir.
Okay.
And they'll start up, and that's always a good time too, because some of these freshmen, some of the kids that aren't getting playing time on Friday, this has got to be the longest time in the world for them because they're not, they don't see any action Friday,
Right, on Friday.
except they did in the third quarter, so they enjoyed it. The fourth quarter, I'm sorry, but Friday night, some of those kids they won't step on the field. But Thursdays, we called it Thursday Thunder, whatever, and they'll get to play some and get excited about it,
There you go.
and that's what we got to do with them too, because we're going to need those kids. That freshman class that we've got, I don't know, there's a lot of potential there, and like I said, we've already playing some, on the field now. On varsity. So there's a lot more that are going to get some experience at JV, and they'll be helping us out.
May see some Friday nights later in the season, haven't they?
Well, they might. I mean, there's some kids that, they can run. There's some small kids, but they can run. They're fast. We do, have been running all summer and making, they sprint. And you look at them, and they got good form. They can run. We got to get and Coach Bailey's going to coach our boys track team this year. You'll get to meet him. I guess you'll have him with
I met him
basketball.
Friday night. He came up in the booth Friday night.
Great guy. And so we get this track team going again. And I think some of these young kids, they'll do some good stuff. And I want track to build up because that helps me. That helps our football.
Oh, it definitely
team.
does.
And I can't wait to get it. I know zero about track. I'm learning. But I just want to be the guy that gets to shoot the gun to
There
start
you go.
sometimes.
Well, track was my sport back in high
Oh,
school.
yeah? What'd you do? Did you field
I
guy
did
or
the
you
half mile. Back then it was called the mile medley.
Okay.
I anchored the mile medley and did the half mile. Now I believe it's called the 800 and
Okay.
in the
yeah.
4
Well, they
by
do
400.
meters. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Back in the previous century.
That's right. That's right.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I know it's a little late, but I appreciate you joining me.
I hope that everybody comes out, that can make it, just see what's going on, just come watch the band too, but maybe we can show, maybe we'll win today. That's our goal.
There you go. Win the day Friday night.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for watching the first show for Coach Murray, the Coach Murray Show. We'll see y'all.
Charlton Electric now serving Charlton and surrounding counties. With over 20 years experience in both commercial and residential services, our electricians can meet your needs. We offer installation on whole house generators, service upgrades, mobile home services, troubleshooting, ceiling fan and light fixture installations, and much more. Call us today for an estimate at 912-276-7661.
We're located at 4439 2nd Street North in Folkestone, Georgia. Is owned and operated by the Dasher family. They have everything you need, bumper to bumper, for domestic and foreign car parts. Big truck operators, they have you covered as well with belts, seals, hoses, welding supplies, and so much more. They even have lawnmower parts, blades, and accessories. Stop by today and see the whole crew. Miss Joe, Pam, Little Sammy, Stephen, Dylan, and Big Sammy himself. It's Folkestone Auto Supply.
Whistle & Dixie Custom Framing and Unique Gifts and Cafe is located at 3742 Main Street in downtown Folkestone, Georgia. Lunches are served on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come join the fun food and fellowship whether you're a local, tourist, or a Royal fan. We also serve Bluebell ice cream, coffees, and lattes. While dining, feel free to browse around as we also have custom framing, train art, custom t-shirts, and unique gifts. Looking for a real lodging? You can also stay at the Chessy Caboose or the Peaks Cabin. Come see us.
Thrift Farm and Feed, located at 43 Depot Street in Folkestone, is owned and operated by Tim Birchall. Tim invites you to come by and check out his selection of Georgia boots, cactus ropes, and Rocky boots. They also have a full selection of livestock feeds, Showtime dog foods, and hardware. The Birchall family is proud of number 4, Scott Birchall, and wish the Indians good luck this season.
El Cheapo Folkestone, located on US 1 South across from Dairy Queen. They have the lowest gas prices in town, along with discount beverages and a huge selection of lottery tickets. They're a proud sponsor of the Charlton Sports Network, and they wish the Maidens and Indians the best of luck in the playoffs. Stop in, fill up, and tell them CSN sent you.